welcome back into Call It a Night. We are still here rocking and rolling on Radio Row in Miami, getting ready for the Super Bowl, and I'm so thrilled to be joined by two very special people. We've got defensive lineman for the Cowboys, Michael Bennett, and his lovely wife, Pele Bennett, they're both going to be working on, they are working on right now, a podcast together, Mouthpiece, and just looking at it, it looks as though it is going to be it's so much fun, right? It's politics, it's sports, it's sex, which is...
You said that can you say sex on this
Oh,
show?
yeah. We can say shit. We can say fuck.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Now we're good.
Oh, my God. I just said shit on America's TV.
We can do whatever we want.
I made it.
Yeah.
I made it.
And normally, we can't get it through here. We like to drink, too.
Oh,
but, like, Radio Row is like... I know, right?
Yeah.
Like, why not? Why
That's
not have
just
a little
a
fun?
It is the best show.
It's the best show on TV. Right here, number one. But you guys have an awesome show that you just started. Tell me a little bit about it.
Me? She never lets me go first, so let me do this. Well, Mouthpiece is just a husband and a wife being able to share their thoughts. I think for us, being able to talk about things that are happening in our society from a parental experience, and then also as individuals, as a man and a woman, and then as a couple. So the things that we talk about, whether it's politics, culture, food, traveling, all these different things that we're able to share. But the thing that makes it really cool is that we disagree on things, but we also agree. But we never take the disagreements home. That's the best part of the show. Yeah.
How do you
adults.
How do we do that?
Yeah. How do you do that?
I'm lying. Sometimes we take those thoughts home and we keep going. But I think for us, being able to have this show is like us venting. And like I was telling somebody earlier, I was just like take like something like concussions. Like you take a concussion, like as a player, you talk about a concussion, you're like, oh, people throwing back in the game, like I'm out there, I'm tough, I'm this, I'm that. But then as a wife, you feel like
right, it's a different perspective. It's
definitely
like scared, fear. You know, you're reaching out to someone else's wife if their husband's out there. I think there's a lot of different things that go on from a fan's perspective.
And so we like to talk about those things of our experience, and even things like getting traded and having to pick up your whole family and move, and just talking about things that are happening, us with all the things that are happening with women in the world. And then we have our 3 daughters, and being able to share what the perspective as a father is. For me, I didn't know what a menstrual period, the menstrual thing, like I was a man.
He's that guy that's like, oh my God, you're talking about blood. And I'm like, you have 3 girls. There's going to be a lot of blood
kind of stuff.
around.
So I'm not ready. It's like those type of things are like, so these are things that like as a man that you don't really understand, and you don't have to understand them, but you can listen, you know what I'm saying?
I'm learning stuff about him also that I wouldn't also know like in the game or from a male's perspective. So it's still going both ways. Ooh. I think it's just how he feels about the sport altogether, because how I see it is different from how he feels about it, and he's so passionate about it, but in a different way.
And so, Pele, tell me about like coming up with this idea. Like, you guys obviously married, you've been together for so long. What was like the light bulb that said, let's do a show together?
Who was the people?
The people wanted it.
The people wanted it.
We had to deliver.
They were like, show me the money.
We would walk into grocery stores, they'd be like, do you have a podcast? We'd be like, no.
It's so random. I don't know why people ask us
they
that.
Did?
That's
a very specific question to ask someone in the grocery store.
I'll be getting toilet paper, and I'll be reaching, and somebody be like, hey, do you have a podcast about toilet paper? And it was just like, we just took off from there.
I'm really gullible, so I don't know if you're like...
I'm being completely honest.
Okay, cool.
No, he's being completely not honest.
Yeah. No, he's not? Wait.
We've been together so long, I feel like people just randomly ask us questions also because they know our relationship. And so we were on a podcast. That's how it happened. We were on The Good Kid.
Okay.
And we just had fun, enjoyed it, and it just kind of worked its magic out from that.
And then your chemistry is just like so palpable. People want to hear you guys talk about two different sides of everything.
And I think people like honesty. I think we live in a world where everything is kind of fake and it's instant. And I think for us, it's about crock pot. Like, we're cooking up our emotions, we're cooking up our thoughts, and being able to really put it out there for people to be able to have that vulnerability that we are sharing as an individual and then as a couple. I think sometimes we talk about things and you just get, sometimes we're talking about it and we're getting emotional about it as we're talking about it, because it's like, I never thought about it from that perspective. And it's your wife, like the person you feel, safety with. It's a sanctuary, the person you care about the most. So be able to have a work. Sometimes working with your wife is not the greatest thing, but
it's true
because you work, because you might take it home. But at the same time, sometimes it's the greatest experience because you get to share something and build something, not just a family, but you get to build a business together and build a voice. So it's I love it.
That's great. People usually say don't shit where you eat, but evidently for you guys, that's working out. A-O-K.
But if you eat pork, pigs always shit where they eat.
Yeah,
so if you eat bacon,
if you eat bacon, you
somewhere.
And you're a farmer.
Yeah.
And
no, humans because they ate something that shit where it was at. A pig.
True. Okay. Science.
Oh,
Science.
I see. Yeah, you went all the way.
One. Okay. So, Michael, I know that you've been obviously vocal about racial inequalities and justice, and so is your brother. And I think that's so important. I love watching this kind of stuff, seeing you guys stand up, and especially for you. What do you think in sports is sort of the next step? Like for athletes, for people who are under the spotlight, that how do we move the conversation to the next level?
I think 2 points. I think one of the most important points is that as athletes, we're trying to change the world, but also we need to be able to change our sport. I think the lack of African-American coaches, the lack of African-American people in positions, and also women getting the opportunity to be in those positions. But if you look at the league, it's all these African-American players, but there's not enough African-American people in those positions, the coaches. Mm-hmm. You got guys like Chris Richard, who's been coaching, has been one of the top coaches in this league for a long period of time, defensive great mind that haven't had the opportunity, and you got coaches who have never been in any coordinator position that have the opportunity to be a head coach before him. So there's this, we're trying to push for society, but we also got to be able to be honest what's going on within our sport and be able to have those opportunities. And I think as collectively as NFL players and NBA players and Major League Baseball players, having this platform and understanding what we can do with this platform and keep pushing the issues, whether it's with women, whether it's with race, is important because we have this whole generation of kids who are looking up to us not to just sell shoes, not to just sell products, but to sell them the hope. And I think it's important that we continuously build our platforms on the foundation of our ancestors, the people who came before us. There's so many great people who have sacrificed their life, whether it's soldiers, whether it's activists, whether it's governors, whoever it's been, people have put forth so much energy into changing society. And what does it look like now that we have money, we have all these things instantly, we're forgetting about the work that people put in before us. So I think there's steps that we have to take to go out there and never lose our voice. But if the people that are in front of the camera are scared to have a voice, how can we expect young people to have a voice when they're looking at their heroes and their heroes are falling to all types of different kryptonites?
Man, I'm voting for you in 2020. That was impressive. And it is very impressive. You have to have a voice like that now. It's an important time in our society in this country. You mentioned head coaches. You're on a team that had an interesting head coaching thing. It's almost like a relationship, when Jerry Jones had Mike McCarthy for a sleepover, and then Jason Garrett sort of like, wait, I'm still around. You haven't broken up with me yet. From a female perspective, even just watching that, Pele, what did you think
about that situation?
Yeah, like if you look at that like a relationship, like.
No, I thought that was wild.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. It was too weird.
Say how you really feel now.
It's like I'm still around. Like you haven't broken up with me yet. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was just one of those things where I feel like Jerry Jones had invested so much into Jason for so long. Here's a guy that's been through all the ranks in his position, a guy that's been in the ranks in the Cowboys, from playing there to being raised from offensive coordinator to being the head coach. And I think they have a relationship. And I think sometimes we have relationships, there's this chemistry that they had that they didn't really want to break. It wasn't that Jason wasn't a person that he loved. It was that he wasn't doing a good job at the business that he was trying to grow. And Jerry loves everything about the Cowboys. And I think because of that, he really didn't want to fire him, but he had to because the fans were asking for newness. I think fans, they get tired of things really old. It's like they got quick fashion. They go to Zara and buy a shirt, and then they want a new shirt. And I feel like they feel like that with coaches. As soon as the coach doesn't reach the potential, like if they don't go 3 rounds into the playoffs and they don't win a Super Bowl the first year, you get fired, like playing for the Browns. If you're the coach at the Browns, they've had so much transition so quickly, and the Cowboys have not been like that. Here's a coach that's been there for 10 years, and there's not a lot of coaches that have been on one team for 10 years, so I can get it why Jerry didn't want to just get rid of him really fast. And I look up to Jason for like, no, look, I love you. I don't want to leave you. I want my family. Like, it was like one of those type of situations, so I get it.
You're good. You could also be a general manager and like a politician and media, because you got the right answers. You cover all grounds. Okay, we got to let you go. We got one quick question. Okay, we want to play this game called Finish Each Other's.
Whoa, that can go a lot of places.
Right,
like,
yeah, whatever you want to finish.
Yeah, I don't know where you were going with that. This is a family show.
That's the point. I'm going to say the beginning of a sentence, and both of you answer what the end of it is at the same time. Okay, we'll see. Okay. I can't stand it when Michael forgets to
turn off the lights.
You missed me. I don't know what. I don't like nothing Michael doesn't do.
Too quickly.
Okay,
I don't like. Okay. I don't like nothing Michael doesn't do. All right,
my girl knows what's going on. So you gotta keep up. Our 3 kids are the best, but sometimes they
are bad.
Whine too much.
Pretty much the same
Whiny.
thing. Yeah, kids can whine. That's just
whiny.
that's what kids are.
Yeah.
Right? But they are awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining us here today. We got Michael, we got Pele Bennett, and they have their new podcast, Mouthpiece. Make sure you check it out. Looks like it's going to be a whole lot of fun. Stay tuned. We've got a whole lot more fun to come on Call It a Night. Hey everyone, JSB here. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Fubo Sports on YouTube, or else I guess you could watch puppy videos. That sounds good.